So in this video I've come to photograph little owls, and I've come to a place up near Droitwich called Brine House Farm. It's a paid for hide. There's two quite large hides there. It will take a number of photographers, and there's a really nice setup here. The little owls will actually nest up, and have been for years, been nesting up in that tree. There's a hole in that big oak tree, and there's a number of perches that have been, old nice rustic sort of branches here, and what we've been doing is putting mealworms and that in them to attract them. At the moment the weather's pretty grim. It was forecast light rain. It's overcast, although this afternoon it should brighten up, so hopefully we might get some nice shots today. But little owls is something that I haven't done for quite a long time, so hopefully I should get some good shots. Well, that's a result. I've only been in the hide 2 minutes, and already the little owl has come out and come down there to take some mealworms. There's other birds coming down as well. There's quite a lot of jackdaws, and I think really and truly you have to try and sort of scare them off, because they'll eat all the food that's been put out. What we've put out, it's back again, crikey. So the time of the year is actually, it's the first week of June, and the lady that owns the hide, Sharon, said that apparently they're coming in quite regularly to feed the young ones. Young ones haven't actually, she said, they hadn't actually seen them coming out of the nest yet or anything like that. It'd be nice to actually get them, a young one to come down there and actually have an adult feeding it there. It's back again, crikey. So the rain has really come in now. It's absolutely chucking it down. Having said that, there's a post there where I had a little owl on there, and I shot it in slow motion. So I videoed it. I've got it set at 240 frames a second slow motion. So because the tree in the background, there's a big oak tree quite a way behind, it's nicely out of focus, and because it's quite dark, the raindrops are actually showing up really well against the actual trees. And I will take some stills and play around with the shutter speed, but I think it's going to look really nice as a video in slow-mo. But it is supposed to brighten up later on this afternoon, hopefully, but certainly at the moment the ISO, if I want to do stills, has got to be 0.004 of a second at ISO 4000 to get a decent shutter speed. So one of the birds that I've photographed today that I hadn't expected to photograph is Grey Partridge. Now, Grey Partridge are not particularly common. They are our native partridge, but there's a lot more red-legged partridges, certainly in my part of the country, than greys, and I hadn't expected to get them today, so that's been a real bonus. And there's two of them just coming out there feeding on the ground. So a lot of the time they've got their heads down because they're feeding, they're looking for any bits of, and it's just a case really of waiting for that moment when it just lifts its head, they lift their heads up, so you can see that lovely sort of red orangey sort of thing that they have on on their head. At the moment they're pretty busy feeding. Now I'm actually on this occasion I'm manually focusing. I'm trying to get it so that I can get both birds in focus, and I've stopped down a little bit too. Normally I shoot wide open at 4.5 on this lens, but I've stopped down to 6.3 in order to try and get both birds in focus, but so far I haven't got a shot of them where they've got both got the heads up. Now they're actually need to walk away from me, so I'll have to wait until they come back. But I might be lucky, you never know. So the rain has come, although it did ease off earlier on and stopped for a short while, it's come back with a vengeance now. It's really coming down quite heavily. That's not such a bad thing because there's a fence, very rustic sort of fence post over there, and when I'm shooting stills with a slow shutter speed, or as I was shooting some video in slow motion, I was shooting at 240 frames a second, which is about 10 times slower than normal. The rain droplets the rain coming down really looked good. Now on the other side of the field behind that fence there's a big oak tree, and it's quite dark and it's nicely out of focus. So when you're trying to show rain droplets or rain coming down, you really need a dark background to actually show up the rain droplets, and that's giving me a perfect setting. Now the little owl came down a little while ago and it landed on the post. I haven't actually got any food there, so it was looking around. I hadn't put any mealworms or anything out, and it was looking around, it's hopping about looking for food. It's flown off now. What I have brought with me, which I bought yesterday in a fishing tackle shop, is a small tub of lobworms. So what I've done is gone buried or hid a couple of lobworms in the actual crevices of the actual post there. Little owl look quite nice sitting there with a lobworm in its mouth. Whether it'll find it or not, one of the problems they do have here is the number of jackdaws you get, and Sharon, the lady who sort of runs this Brine House Farm hide, she said when the jackdaws come down, if you just clap, it doesn't seem to bother the little owl, but it will scare the jackdaws off. So I've had to do that once. Don't really want the jackdaws to get the lobworms. They're really nice either for a woodpecker or the little owl. The little owl sitting in that fence post with a lobworm in its mouth is going to look very, very nice. But at the moment it's gone back into its hole in the tree over there, and just wait for it to come out. But certainly you can hear probably on the rain on the roof. It's coming down quite steadily. So fingers crossed, I might get some decent shots of it. So hopefully the little owl will land on there, and when it picks that up with it in its beak, it should make a nice picture. The bird photography or hide photography for me is a little bit like fishing. There's a lot of hanging around waiting. Fishing, you're waiting to see if you get a bite. Here you're waiting to see if the bird does what you want it to do. And there are periods where nothing will be happening, so there's lots of lulls where you're sitting around waiting. It's back now. Now if it's going to find that lobworm, oh, it's got the worm. It's got the worm. That's good. found it, and I'm videoing that, so that'll actually look quite nice. I've got to be careful it doesn't cut that worm in half and drop it. It's looking back towards. Oh, it has. It picked up the worm, and half of it's gone, and the other half has fallen down onto the ground. But it should find it. So I've just had a adult woodpecker and a juvenile come down, and the adult was feeding the juvenile on that log. Looked quite a nice setting, because you've got the yellow in the background of the buttercups. Seem to be getting a lot of jackdaws coming down now, but the light's improved, so well worth hanging on for a bit longer and taking some more pictures. It was nice to get the shot of the woodpecker feeding the young one. Although I've got plenty of shots of woodpeckers, because I had woodpeckers coming up my hide at the orchard, it's nice to actually see here an adult feeding the young one, and that'll be a nice picture to put in a talk, or use a video in a talk. That's mainly what I shoot for these days.